around, they'll see us. That's how he put it. So El Camino, what could be better than this? So anyway, here we are, and I think most people are in from the kitchen, so yeah, there they are. Thank you, Gloria and Robert. Bravo, bravo. All right, you can see me if I stand here. It just makes me feel a little closer. Let's start with a prayer. Heavenly Father, Divine Mother, friend, beloved God, Jesus Christ, Babaji Krishna, Lahiri Mahashaya, Swami Sri Yukteswar, beloved Master, Paramhansa Yogananda, saints of all religions, dear friend and guide Swami Kriyananda, humbly we bow to you all. We are deeply grateful that you called us and graced us with the power to hear your voice, and graced us with the courage to respond to that call, to open our hearts, to focus our minds, to awaken devotion, and realize the gift of divine teachings and divine masters and spiritual family. We are your very own. Bless us and guide us. Om. Peace. Amen. Just a tiny little bit of business that I may not want to mention at the end, or more likely I will just forget. We promised Gloria and Robert that if they came into the temple, then when the program is over, we would go help finish cleaning up. Okay, so at least some of us, it's a small kitchen, but we should all go over there, and the ones who aren't helping can just cheer from the sidelines. Okay, so our program is Trey informal. Keshav is going to lead some chanting. The choir is going to sing a little bit. Does anybody in the room have a good story that they're going to want to share? Oh my, what a dull group you are. I'll give you another chance. A couple of hands went up. How clever of you, but I don't have the questions, but you can give them. Somebody can give me one. Okay, I will do that then. You don't have to if you don't want to, and if it's not a good story, you don't have to tell it. Or if it's a story of someone you'd like to stay friends with and you don't want to tell it, that's also okay. All right, let's have some chanting and then we'll do.
If you know the harmonies to this chant, please sing them. Lord, I am thine, I am thine, I am thine. Lord, I am thine, I am thine. Lord, I am thine, I am thine, I am thine. Lord, I am thine, I am thine. Be thou mine, oh, be thou mine. Be thou mine, oh, be thou mine. I am thine, I am thine. sea is dark and my stars are gone, though my sea is dark and my stars are gone, still I see the path through thy mercy. Still I see the path through thy mercy. I have made thee pole star of my life. I have made thee pole star of my life. Though my sea is dark and my stars are gone, though my sea is dark and my stars are gone, still I see the path through thy mercy. Still I see the path through thy mercy. I have made thee pole star of my life. I have made thee pole star of my life. Though my sea is dark and my stars are gone, though my sea is dark and my stars are gone, still I see the path through thy mercy. Still I see the path through thy mercy. I have made thee pole star of my life. I have made thee pole star of my life. Though my sea is dark and my stars are gone, though my sea is dark and my stars are gone, still I see the path through thy mercy. Still I see the path through thy mercy. I have made thee pole star of my life. I have made thee pole star of my life. Though my sea is dark and my stars are gone, though my sea is dark and my stars are gone, still I see the path through thy mercy. Still I see the path through thy mercy. I have made thee pole star of my life. I have made thee pole star of my life. Though my sea is dark and my stars are gone, though my sea is dark and my stars are gone, still I see the path through thy mercy. Still I see the path through thy mercy. I have made thee pole star of my life. I have made thee pole star of my life. Though my sea is dark and my stars are gone, though my sea is dark and my stars are gone, still I see the path through thy mercy. Still I see the path through thy mercy. I have made thee pole star of my life. I have made thee pole star of my life. Though my sea is dark and my stars are gone, though my sea is dark and my stars are gone, still I see the path through thy mercy. Still
minutes of meditation, take the meaning of both of those chants. Lord, I am thine. I have made thee pole star of my life. Feel within your heart the power of those affirmations. Feel that power running through every part of our existence in this world. How everything can be and will be entirely different when those affirmations become our actual consciousness. Have some music from the choir.
Lord, may we serve you all our days, ever rejoice to sing your praise, as we together with joy receive. May we as one your bliss achieve. As we your guidance with joy receive. May we as one your bliss achieve. Life is a dream, time like a stream, carries our burdens away. Never despair, joys everywhere. Love can befriend you today. Free from all care, like birds on the air, soar above griefs and worries, seek joy and be gay. Often on earth, things of great worth, worldly ambitions defy. Sometimes a friend helps us ascend up from life's cares to the sky. Love is a star, though shining afar. It can guide us and help us toward light to draw nigh. Life is a dream, time like a stream, carries our burdens away. Never despair, joys everywhere. Love can befriend you today. Free from all care, like birds on the air, soar above griefs and worries, seek joy and be gay. Often on earth, things of great worth, worldly ambitions defy. Sometimes a friend helps us ascend up from life's cares to the sky. Love is a star, though shining afar. It can guide us and help us toward light to draw nigh. Love is a star, though shining afar. It can guide us and help us toward light to draw nigh.
We have now a very short excerpt, just a few minutes from a longer talk. No, we don't?
We thought we did, but it's too long. Whatever they have is too long now.
Pardon me? Okay, we don't have, turns out we don't have Swamiji's voice, except internally. Do we have a song of his that we could just pull up? Yeah, why don't we want to hear him. Just put a piece of music on. Let's just hear his voice.
Sun rays on the snow of a winter long, in darkness without song. Oh, my heart's a fire, burning all desire. Only you remain, and life again. Is all I know, sun rays on the snow of a winter long, in darkness without song. Oh, my heart's a fire, burning all desire. Only you remain, and life again. Too long I did stray, flung lifetimes away, imagined you did not care. I know now your smile was mine all the while. I listened and love was there. I can't breathe for love. All the stars above call to me, come home. Life's waves all end in foam. Only love can heal all the pain I feel. What a fool was I to turn away. Love is all I know, sun rays on the snow of a winter long, in darkness without song. Oh, my heart's a fire, burning all desire. Only you remain, Love is all I know. Sun rays on the snow of a winter long, in darkness without song. Oh, my heart's a fire, burning all desire. Only you remain, and life again. Too long I did stray, flung lifetimes away. Imagine you did not care. I know now your smile was mine all the while. I listened and love was there. I can't breathe for love. All the stars above call to me, come home. Life's waves all end in foam. Only love can heal all the pain I feel. What a fool was I to turn away.
Now that was really very, very appropriate, not only because of the song itself, but Swami always said to us, if you want to know me, listen to my music. He said the music is much more who he is than anything else that he's done, except for Land of Golden Sunshine, which was the story about the girl who's called by the sun god to leave this world and go to the next. He said that's the most autobiographical thing that he's ever done, more than his autobiography, and the most personal. You just sort of hear in his voice and the melody, the way the notes move, it's just the whole spiritual path, just in one story, just one song out of 400 that he wrote. In 2012, around that time, maybe it was a little before, a few years before, Swamiji knew that he knew intuitively that he had been Henry I, who was the son of William the Conqueror, and Yogananda had said that he was himself William the Conqueror, and Swami felt very powerfully that he'd been his biological son in that lifetime, just as he was a spiritual son in this lifetime. And he read up a great deal on the history of Henry. He did this much earlier, before we knew Swami, but he did. And so that was just sort of part of his understanding. And Master had also said that he'd been a prominent king of Spain. Yogananda said he'd been a prominent king of Spain. And so some of the devotees, and Spanish devotees, started doing research on that to try to figure out who that might have been, because he didn't say. They decided it was Ferdinand III, who's very famous in Spain and is known as the Saint, and whose body is in the cathedral in Seville. They open it to public viewing once a year, and the body is incorrupt, which is Master Yoga, as Yogananda was also incorrupt. And that's a little unusual. And one of Ferdinand's sons was Alfonso X. And Swami again looked into it in great detail and felt very strongly that he had been that man also. And when Narayani arranged a trip to Seville, So this would have been earlier, like 2009 or 10. And on the day, and they were able to arrange for Swami to go into actually Lakshman's in the room, Lakshman was there. They went to the room where the body was exposed, and Swami stood in front of it. He could barely stand at that time. His health was really poor, but he stood for not quite an hour. And he said the face even looked like Master. And Swami had a very powerful experience there. And one of the things about Alfonso X was that he was extraordinarily prolific in all these different fields, including writing some hundreds of pieces of music, mostly to Divine Mother. And people, historians decided that he must have had his apprentices write most of that music. They just could not conceive of how one individual could create so much. And this prompted in Swamiji something that I didn't really talk to him about it at the time because there was no way to do so. I wish I had. He just conceived of this idea that he would make a declaration as Swami Kriyananda and say, in future generations, people are going to say that this was done by other people. It wasn't. Every single word I wrote was sincerely written, inspired by Master. Every note of every piece of music was exactly as it was given to me. And I did it all myself. And then he said, just as Alfonso X also did all the work that he did, and then a little footnote, as I believe I was he. And it just, in a sense, at the time, this just came out of left field. And he was here at the time that he decided to do it, so I typed it up for him. He signed it. I have it still with his original signature. He then asked those of us who knew him to write little declarations saying, I was there, he did. And for some reason, nobody had been in the room at the same time. I couldn't get hardly anyone else to do it. So I wrote one, and Parvati wrote one, but no one else did. That I know, because I have the file. I wrote that he sent us his manuscripts as he wrote. I couldn't speak to the music because it's not but the words are mine, my field. He sent the manuscripts. He asked for our input. He took our input, but our input was just window dressing. He wrote every word. Absolutely, he did it. And I think now, and I look at those of us in the room, this is a very small representation of the number of people's lives who are defined by the life of Swami Kriyananda. On this day, all over the world, people are doing whatever they're doing. They're doing it in multiple languages, in many, many different parts of the world. And with the internet, people are watching all over the planet. And Keshava's choice of songs, the first one was a chant that Swami composed. The second was one of Yogananda's chants. I am thine. I have made thee a pole star of my life. Now, I know that I'm talking to a room full of people and people online that I don't know. Everybody's living in a different reality. Some of you are like me, really had no other life but Ananda. I learned to sew and I learned to type. And then I sat there and waited for something to happen in my life. And fortunately, at a very young age, I met Swamiji, and it was like as soon as he was there, oh yeah, this is why I came to this planet. Other than that, I was sitting there wondering why I'd come to this planet. And then all of a sudden, he was standing there, and I knew why I had come to this planet. I came to learn from you, to emulate you, to become as much like you as I can. I didn't know what he was, but I knew that he was joyous, and later I realized I knew he was free. Those were the words. At that time, I didn't realize that confinement was what was making me so crazy, because I wasn't really unhappy, but there has to be more. This can't possibly be the whole story. Just can't possibly be. And he just walked into the room without even speaking before he said anything. And he had written hardly any books. There wasn't any material, just him. And he just vibrated. He vibrated. I knew about self-realization by then. I knew about saints. I'd been going to East West Bookshop, which at that point was at Menlo Park. Books were how you found out things in those days. Remember? Books. So you go to the bookstore, and I read about Christian missionaries and people who helped lepers, and I read about ancient yogis, and I just read everything that I could find. The people, like, how did they do it? That was the section I was in. But none of them, I couldn't figure them out. I didn't want to become a Christian missionary. I didn't know any lepers, you know. And I really couldn't figure out how I could get to India and live in a cave, and somehow that didn't really sound good to me. But Kriyananda walked into the room, and he was American, he was so robust, he was the fulfilled destiny of my own little tiny life. And you know, there I am, standing way here, he's standing there. Oh yeah, that's it. Pole star. It's the word I finally, that didn't take me long. That's the word I came to, pole star. Constant point of reference. And when I was following my own instructions and meditating on the chant, whatever your position in life, whatever your stage of understanding or your karma, your inclinations, doesn't make any difference. But at a certain point, if you can, make truth, make the divine, make Yogananda Babaji, Kriyananda, Jesus, whoever, have a pole star. I can't express clearly enough in words what it feels like to have a fixed point of reference. That's what happened when I met Swamiji. I had a fixed point of reference. And from that point, you see, you're no longer lost. Because otherwise we're lost. We just wander here, that looks good, we chase it for a while, and it doesn't work. Either it betrays us, or, you know, we learn two ways. Either it disappoints us and it's horrible, or we get it, and we have the whole of it, the giant it, we get it. And then when all the excitement dies down, and we're alone in the night, and one realizes, is where am I still? As long as we're just moving around here, we just keep moving the pieces around. But nothing's added, you see. But when you raise your eyes, I will lift up mine eyes unto the hills from whence cometh my help. And this is an esoteric reference because you lift up your eyes to the spiritual eye within. And then you have a pole star. And Swamiji, well, I can be so laudatory, I try to restrain it a little bit, but he was so perfect in his role because he was so casual. He himself said it, you know, he'd been a king and a leader for so many incarnations. He wore his leadership exceedingly lightly. He wore it so lightly, sometimes people didn't notice he had it. Meaning, you had to find it intuitively. At the end of his life, there was a lot more accoutrement of his position. But that was even still at the end, and it was more, especially when he was in India and Italy. In America, it was always still, we kept it pretty casual. You know, even when he would be sitting here, you know, I would go some places and it would be 3 steps up and it would look like a throne. We would just borrow Helen's chair and bring it in, you know, just so we'd have something comfortable to sit on. And we didn't do more than that because he didn't want it. His words were, I can do more for people as a simple, unaffected friend than in any other role. He said that to me right after he said, Master told him that he would be more than a teacher. He would have spiritual responsibility for people. And how he described that was, he was our link. I won't use that pronoun, I may use a different way of saying that. for most of the people who came to Ananda. He was their link and our link to Master. He never said, I am this. I am a link to the power that comes through me. That's enough. And he just lived. He ruled by enthusiasm, entirely by enthusiasm and magnetism, and that's how he set up Ananda. We have positions, some of us, We can stand on the dais, and we even wear special costumes on certain days, There was a tremendous rebellion when Swami put us in special costumes, but he wanted us to take ourselves more seriously. We were behaving like children. But very light, very, very light touch. Because if you don't want it, it doesn't matter. It doesn't serve anybody to impose it on you. But he was just enthusiastic. Later on, as many of you know, when we went through when we were assaulted from the outside, a decade of it, the 90s, and there was all these accusations, Swamiji said later, people accusing couldn't imagine that I didn't take advantage of my position, because if they had had my position, they would have. So they simply couldn't imagine that he didn't. But he didn't. He never told anyone what to do. He didn't lay down any rules. He had an extremely wide highway of the allowable. But what he did was he plowed forward with total enthusiasm. He just lived with so much passion for God realization that it just looked like the funnest thing around. That was really basically what it was. It was just more fun to be doing what he was doing than to be doing anything else that you could think of. And that's really what's kept Ananda going this whole time. It's just fun. It's fun to be here. Fun is in the best way. Swami actually defined Ananda's mission is to have fun. And he said it many different times. The first time he said it, but let me define what I mean by fun, he said. Fun is to be close to God and to share that closeness with others. Because isn't that just what we all long for? Certainly what I wanted. I wanted something that could absorb me completely. I had a lot of energy, too much energy, going in all directions. I just wanted a pole star. I wanted a place to put it. And I wanted it to not disappoint. I wanted something that wasn't going to disappoint, that I could really believe in, that I could give myself to, and that I could believe in enough to give it to others. And it's, this is the parallel. This is what Swami says about himself. This is what many of you say about yourselves. We're all cut from the same cloth. And I don't just mean the Ananda family. I mean the human being. We're all cut from the same cloth. We are manifestations of the infinite love of God. We are not satisfied, as Swami says in that song, too long I did stray, flung lifetimes away, imagined you did not care. I know now your smile was mine all the while. What a fool was I to turn away. There it is, isn't it? How many stories. But then these streaks of light come. All the masters behind me, and then Swami is their emissary. Just streaks through the world and creates this extraordinary wave of magnetism. Some of us had the opportunity to know Swamiji. Quite a few people in this room knew him well. Others of you never met him, and now he's gone off the planet, but only physically. Master says about himself, and Swami could say it about himself. Unknown, Master says, I walk by your side, guarding you with invisible arms. That's the whole answer. It's physically, they live for a short period of time. Jesus, Buddha, Krishna, Yogananda, Lahiri, Sri Yukteswar, Saint Francis. They're not just the masters, it's also the saints. Even when my friend Paula died, our friend Paula, I said, Swamiji, I just feel like she's here with us. Does she know what we're doing? Swami looked at me like, the first look was exactly what the words that came out were. Of course. Do you think that love goes away when the body goes away? Do you think the desire to uplift and to share ends just because the body goes away? The passion to uplift us. Swami said on many occasions, once he said it specifically this way. He said something like, once he was feeling very, very physically weak, around 2003, I think, just before he went to India. He was on the phone with me and he said, I was so weak last night, I felt I could just slip away. I said, sir, it would be so selfish of us to ask you to stay. If you can go, please go with our blessings. You've done many lifetimes of work already. You can, please. Actually the whole conversation, I said, but it won't be any fun to be on this planet without you. He referenced his life with Yogananda. He was 26 when Yogananda died, and he'd only been with him 3.5 years. I said, it won't be any fun to be on this planet. Swami said, very quietly, I know, I've been through it, he said. He never referenced that, though, rarely. On another occasion, 20 years later, Shivani asked him, what was it like when Master died? And at first Swami wouldn't even answer. And he, uncharacteristically, he said, that's a very personal question. Shivani was very impersonal herself, so she didn't mind being, pushed back like that. It's a very personal question. Then he was completely silent, sort of look. He did this thing where he would sort of look at the floor. And then something would come to him, and he looked up and he said, it was heartbreaking, is what he said. But he never referred to it. That was the only time I ever heard him say that. And maybe he said it to others, but I never heard it. Because Master was also there with him all the time, and he wanted us to be sure that we knew that. He never wanted us to think that just because we were born later, anything was missing. And that's exactly what's so important now. Just because you were born later or came later, don't think anything is missing. Even Swami himself said, just because people are with me physically, it doesn't mean, well, he put it in many ways, but what he meant was, it doesn't mean they're in tune with me. It just means they're physically with me. It doesn't mean the people who are with me often are more in tune than people who are far away. Physically, or just, they don't socialize. But in that conversation, Swamiji said something like, first he said, when I leave, I never want to come back. And then he said, but I would come back for all of you. I said, well, that's the only reason you came this time, isn't it? And Swami said, well, yes. So what all of this is about, Swamiji is an extraordinary personality and endlessly charming stories and a great body of work. But the longer I live, it's funny for me because, especially because, as many of you know, I just spent a month reading my life and all these notes. The most obvious facts of the spiritual life are beginning to make sense to me. So I sort of, I feel a little almost silly. But, well, Shivani went into seclusion. I've been talking about her a lot. She's a founding member of Ananda Assisi. She's an American, but she and I are soul sisters and started together. She was in seclusion. When she came out and she said to me in her way, Asha, if you pray to God, He answers. I said something snide like, Shivani, I mean, like, really? Like, you went into 2 weeks of seclusion to say that? She wouldn't have any of my cheeky stuff. She just looked at me. Asha, he does. Just like that. So I've begun to understand, wow, they're always with us. They really are. It's not just like a pleasant story that they tell us. Swamiji is here, Master is here, Babaji, Christ. If we call them. When Master was at the end of his life, they said, when you're gone, will you be as close to us as you are now? I'm telling you the oldest stories in the book here. He said, to those who think me near, I will be near. And really, that's all you need, isn't it? And Swami was the same, even when he was in the physical body, he would project his consciousness. And if you were trying to receive it, you would receive ideas, energy, inspiration, joy. And you would just know it came from him. That's the only way I can say it. This whole story here, this was all his doing. He would say that. I founded 7 communities, he would say. I always loved it when he would say that. Yes, sir, you did. And he said it on purpose. Like when Swamiji himself was developing devotion, and he was rather pleased. He'd made a lot of progress. And then Master saw him at a distance and said to one of the monks next to him, and Swami heard it later, Master called him Walter, which was a variation on his last name, his American name. He said, see how I have changed Walter. And Swami thought, oh yeah, that's right. You see, what changes us is not that we get ourselves organized, it's that we get ourselves receptive, and then we're on the vibration of the Masters, and the Master's consciousness just flows right through us. And we find ourselves being something that we never were before. Lord, I am thine, I am thine, I am thine. This is the power we're working with. Okay, my friends. Now, we had promised that some of you could talk, but do you think that's going to happen? Does anyone have something they would like to share? I'm not going to work too hard to drag you up here because we've run a little long. I'll give the excuse of time. But does anyone have something they want to say? I'm probably not going to give you a chance to say it. I think we should go, we do have a volunteer? Okay.
Is it on? Hi, this is Robert. So this is a funny story. I hang out at the farm a lot, and I was having a day of weed whacking in the orchard. And when you weed whack, you have to put on big headphones, all this gear. And I'd been at it for a while, and I put on some music. And I was getting kind of tired, so I put on some rock and roll. I had all my music on my phone, all these different songs. And that helped. I was definitely bopping along, getting going there. All of a sudden, in the middle of a song, it just stopped and then went, and now we will hear Swami Kriyananda read Master's poem, Samadhi. And then Swami read Master's poem, Samadhi. And I mean, I have like 80 albums and different things on this phone. How it would find its way, first of all, to that particular thing was a complete mind blower. So then I went down the hill, went to my truck to go home, opened the door, and there was a bird inside. So I said, okay, come on, get out of there. I opened the other door, tried to shoo it out, went in the back seat. I opened the back seat, tried to shoo it out the front. It wouldn't leave. This little bird was unafraid. Anyway, it was the weirdest little experience I had, but such a great blessing, and truly it was Swami saying, okay, rock and roll is fun, but there's something better waiting for you.
Over here, James. Oh, okay. Thank you, Robert.
Asha, I want to pick up on something that you said that I haven't told too many people about. Most people here know Karen and I moved to Palo Alto to start Clarity seminars. And it was a lot of work. I know how to work. It was the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. And we got very little energy from Swami about it. That's a separate story. But we got very little energy from him. And then I got an email from a friend in Italy where Swami was giving a talk, and they sent me the clip of the talk. And Swami's comment was, I hear that my Clarity seminars in America is doing well. And I thought, what do you know?
When we were dedicating our community in 1990, and Swamiji was sitting on the stage with us, and I was standing at the microphone like this, and I started telling, as I was telling earlier, just stories about what we did and what we did. It's kind of, using the I pronoun or the we pronoun like this, and I just had this sudden sense that the I who had done it was behind me, not standing here. And I actually had to move the microphone and I had to get a little behind him because I couldn't stand there. I mean, I'd known that, but there was this certainty about the decisions that were made, just step by step. There was just this certainty that, where was the certainty coming from? That's where it was coming from. We think it comes different than that. We think it's outside our own minds. But a lot of it is just karma takes over, we start working, things start flowing, we're doing something harder than we've ever done before, but somehow we know how to do it. Because, Lord, I am thine. And if that's your inner reality, then he can use you. Swamiji said the interesting statement, many wonderful things that God would give to this world are never given for lack of willing human instruments. So it's just our willingness. It's not God's paucity of ideas or the divine's paucity. Anyone else? All right, my friends, what we are going to do next, this is a gratitude ceremony to Swamiji for having the courage to become the disciple of an Indian master in 1948, when good boys from good families didn't do things like that, right? And it was really the starting point of Ananda. Two starting points I consider. When September 12th, 1948, when Swamiji became a disciple, and I think it was July 29, 1949, when Master planted his thoughts in the ether that we would have world brotherhood colonies in the world. And on that day, Swami resolved that he would carry out his Guru's wishes and start a community. And all of you are sitting here because of those events, because otherwise this wouldn't be here. So this is a gratitude day of just saying thank you, Swamiji, for incarnating, for putting out all that energy, for working out so much karma on your poor physical body, for allowing the shadow force to do its very best to snuff you out and not letting yourself be snuffed out, for being a pole star, and for walking unknown by our sides and guiding us with invisible arms. So we'll have some chanting, And there are beautiful roses. Master said that the astral vibration of roses is especially strong. That's why we use them for ceremonies. So all the roses are here, and while we're chanting, you come up as you feel to, if you feel to. Take a rose from the vase and then place it anywhere on the altar you want to, with whatever prayer you want to offer. We're not in a hurry. Just come as you feel and pray as you feel. All right, my friends, let's do that.
Just for once, come to me. Wilt thou come? Wilt thou come? Just for once, come to me. Will my days fly away without seeing thee, my Lord? Will my days fly away without seeing thee, my Lord? Night and day, I look for thee. Night and day, night and day, night and day, I look for thee. Night and day, door of my heart, open wide, I keep for thee. Door of my heart, open wide, I keep for thee. Wilt thou come? Wilt thou come? Just for once, come to me. Wilt thou come? Wilt thou come? Just for once, come to me. Will my days fly away without seeing thee, my Lord? Will my days fly away without seeing thee, my Lord? Night and day, I look for thee. Night and day, night and day, I look for thee. Night and day, door of my heart, open wide, I keep for thee. Door of my heart, open wide, I keep for thee. Wilt thou come? Wilt thou come? Just for once, come to me. Wilt thou come? Wilt thou come? Just for once, come to me. Will my days fly away without seeing thee, my Lord? Will my days fly away without seeing thee, my Lord? just for once come to me. Will my days fly away without seeing thee, my Lord? Will my days fly away without seeing thee, my Lord? Night and day, night and day, I look for thee, night and day, night and day, night and day, I look for thee, night and day, night and day, night and day, I look for thee, night and day, night and day, night and day, I look for thee, night and day. Think in thy heart, lotus feet of thy Guru. Think in thy heart, lotus feet of thy Guru. If you want to cross the ocean of delusion, if you want to cross the ocean of delusion, shaming the white lotus in purity, shaming the white lotus in purity, beyond all duality, Guru, image of Brahma, deliver us from delusion. Guru, image of Brahma, deliver us from delusion. Think in thy heart, lotus feet of thy Guru. Think in thy heart, lotus feet of thy Guru. If you want to cross the ocean of delusion, if you want to cross the ocean of delusion, shaming the white lotus in purity, shaming the white lotus in purity, beyond all duality, Guru, image of Brahma, deliver us from delusion. Guru, image of Brahma, deliver us from delusion. Guru, image of Brahma, deliver us from delusion. Think in thy heart, lotus feet of thy Guru. Think lotus feet of thy
Heavenly Father, Divine Mother, dearest friend, beloved God, Jesus Christ, Babaji Krishna, Lahiri Mahashaya, Swami Sri Yukteswar, beloved Master, Paramhansa Yogananda, saints of all religions, dear friend and guide Swami Kriyananda, humbly we bow to you all. May your love shine forever on the sanctuary of our devotion, and may we be able to awaken thy love in all hearts. Om. Peace. Amen.